Do you ever wonder what $109 gets you when you spend it on lighting? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Nick Friend. Thanks for joining me. Today's going to be a nice, short, simple one. I'm just talking about this beautiful light I have over to my left. It is the Godox SL-60W, and I know that you probably know about this light because everyone calls it the Aputure killer. It kind of goes as a direct competitor to the Aputure 120D, and yeah, it is a good competitor. I will say this from the get-go, it's not as good as the Aputure 120D, and it's nowhere even close to the Aputure 300D, which is my favorite light. And it's easy to use. This is a COB, which stands for single chip on board light. It has everything internalized. It has a fan. All the controls are on the back. It's super straightforward. There's one dial, there's one switch, there's one button. That's it. It's 109 bucks. I have an old 36-inch softbox here from one of my photography lights, but again, because it uses that same mount that you get from all those photography lights, you can put your softbox on there. You probably don't even have to buy any more modifiers to get this nice, beautiful, soft look. But you already know all that stuff about the light. I'm interested in showing you what this light actually does. So I'm going to set up 4 different situations. The first one being this one. There's a 36-inch octabox right here. You can see shadow kind of comes across my face. It has 2 levels of diffusion, and that's it. It's an octabox. You know exactly what it looks like. So I'm gonna switch it up and then we'll come back to it. Oh, okay, so this is what the light looks like when you just have the reflector that comes in the package with the light. It's the standard reflector that you'll get with pretty much every light that you buy that has a Bowens mount. Okay, so this is just the naked light. It's not being reflected. It's kind of spilling all over the room. Makes really, really harsh shadows. But yeah, this is what it looks like when you don't put anything in front of the light at all. This is at 100% power, and it's just pointed directly up at the ceiling. All I did was take the naked light, point it straight up at the ceiling, get as close to the ceiling as possible so I get as much balance as possible. So it has this nice soft look. Obviously you lose a lot of your luminance levels because it is bouncing and it's dispersing at such a high degree. But it is super, super soft. And if you can get the adjustment levels right in camera, you can certainly use this to your advantage and cut down on your lighting setups and your lighting diagrams. This one's a bit of a bonus because I randomly found this enormous 72-inch reflector in my gear closet. I kind of forgot that I had it. So this is what it looks like when it's directly pointed straight into the reflector. Okay, so this is probably the most flattering light that I can get. This is a 72-inch umbrella. I'm bouncing light into it and then it's coming back through a full stop of diffusion. This setup is almost exclusively used with photo lights, but because it's a Bowens mount and it has the conventional light modifying setups, I can use it here for my video light because this is an LED with a Bowens mount. I'm telling you, this setup is awesome. And again, this is a $109 light. I mean, for a budget-friendly filmmaker like myself, I can't recommend it high enough. It's not perfect. It feels a little bit cheap. It's kind of finicky. The remote is very slow, and when you use the remote and then change it on the light, they don't sync up. So sometimes like you'll have that set up at like 35 and you haven't used the remote yet, and then you go to the remote and it's automatically set at 100. You just press a button, it sets the light to 100%. So then you get this weird exposure thing. Again, I don't think that's that big of a deal because of the ulterior benefits that you actually get from using this light and having a remote and being able to you just turn it on and off as you wish. You know, you can just on, off. It's really nice. And it probably is upsetting a lot of my neighbors that I have a strobe light in my living room now. It's 109 bucks. I keep saying that, but that's a really important part. It's $109 for a light that you can modify infinitely. I don't need to explain it anymore. You get it. Links are below if you want to check it out. Anyways, thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next week. And yeah, have a good Game of Thrones weekend. Peace. Also, if you're wondering about the hair, it is Game of Thrones weekend. Obviously, I'm Team Targaryen. You should be too. Winter's here.